Hey guys, Rockwarrior97's here. First off, I'd just like to say I am canceling my top 5 best guitarists video. I've thought about it, and, well, I kept changing my mind as to who would be in what position, so I'm just decided to cancel it. You know what? And I postponed it for way too long. But to make up for it, I've decided to review, in memoriam of the cancellation, I'm going to review the Spider-Man Trilogy. I'm not going to go too in-depth into them, though, because if I, really nitpicked all these films and just, kept going on, oh, okay, this one had a couple things wrong because the comic book had Gwen Stacy dying, and this one, Gwen Stacy's not even here because Mary Jane's there, you know what I mean? If I did that, I'd just be here forever. So, I'm just going to review them as movies. Not as how true they are to the comic, just as movies. And if you don't know, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. Now on to the review of the first film. Spider-Man 1, I loved it when I first saw it. I was so insanely hyped when this first came out. But unfortunately, my mom wouldn't let me see it because of this thing right here, PG-13. And she wouldn't let me see PG-13 movies until I actually turned 13, according to the rule. So I had to beg and plead, and finally I went to go see it. I loved it. The acting's great, the script is pretty good, the action's good, special effects are decent. The only thing I feel that is wrong with this movie is the script is a bit off at parts. At times it felt more like watching a cartoon than an actual movie. But it's really enjoyable and just a great watch. It's the perfect length at just exactly 2 hours. It's a great movie, what can you say? Now, on to the sequel. Oh, by the way, I give Spider-Man a 4 out of 5. Spider-Man 2, one of the extremely few sequels to be in every way better than the first. This one takes place 2 years after the first one, which had Spider-Man's origins and the origin of the Green Goblin, and of course the eventual death of the Green Goblin. This one, it takes place pretty much right where the first film left off. Peter's Spidey, but except this time he's going through a bunch of hard changes, trying to juggle his life as Peter Parker and his life as Spider-Man at the same time. Eventually, his life as Peter Parker is so out of control, ruined by Spider-Man's life, that he just decides to quit being Spider-Man altogether. However, this guy right here, Otto Octavius, becomes Dr. Octopus and goes on an insane rampage. Spider-Man has to stop him, and from there on out, that's pretty much what happens. It's just a great movie. Alfred Molina does a killer job of playing Dr. Octopus. I mean, they actually did some really good character development with him, too. The script is great, and I love the cliffhanger towards the end where you see Harry Osborn in the Goblin's room. I mean, you should see the first Spider-Man movie, but the second one, you can't go wrong with the second one. Second one, as a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, was the #1 superhero movie on RottenTomatoes.com until The Dark Knight, which I know this is going to piss off a lot of you watching this, but I think The Dark Knight's a little overrated until The Dark Knight overtook it. Well, anyway, and now we come to what I like to call the Dark Horse, Spider-Man 3, and you notice I actually rented it from a library. Not from Blockbuster, from Hollywood Video, but from a good old library. I don't own Spider-Man 3, so I rented it, and this movie is actually not that bad. I feel some people are too hard on it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does feel a little mashed up, if you will, like there's so much going on in one movie. And plus, it's a little long, because the length is 139 minutes. That's just a tad long. But then again, it had so much stuff going on. I will say this, that the acting was good. I do have a few nitpicks, though, but the major nitpick, which I'm pretty sure everyone's been bitching about, is the fact that Venom's only in, the last half hour, just barely, of the movie. And then he gets killed off like that. My friends, There is a saving grace, though. Hold up for it. One second. The saving grace is right here, folks. Hang on a sec. Sorry, there's no zoom in feature on this camera. Right here. Venom 2012. There will be a Venom film, and he will be an anti-hero instead of a villain. And it is not controlled by Disney. It doesn't say on the article, but it is not controlled by Disney. Because the copyright or something was filed before Disney bought the rights to it. So it will be done by Columbia Pictures, I think. So, anyway, Spider-Man 3 isn't as bad as what some people have said. Like I said, I will say that it does seem to jumble up too much stuff, trying to do too much stuff at once. Still, it does excel in action, and the humor is good too. And that's pretty much what it all boils down to. But some people like to treat this as if it's the new Batman Robin. As a matter of fact, I think it's a lot more like this film right here, Batman Forever. These two films are like guilty pleasures. I mean, they do have some cheese to it. They're not as good as the previous two, but they're still enjoyable and do have their own certain charm. And yes, this is a VHS tape. Remember those guys? When you actually had to rewind? Those were the days, weren't they? So, my rating for Spider-Man 1, 4 out of 5. Go see it, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan, if you haven't. Spider-Man 2 gets a perfect 5 out of 5. One of the few movies that trumps its predecessor in every way possible. Spider-Man 3, I give a 3.5 out of 5. It's not as good as the first two, but it's not that bad either. So, this is my Spider-Man Trilogy Quickie, guys. I will make a video on wrestling, and yes, I will finish reviewing the Power Rangers series from up to Time Force-ish. And that'll pretty much be it. So, Rockmore97, talking to you guys later. Peace out. I'm out. Bye.